Deep in the Bay of Bengal lies North Sentinel Island, a place shrouded in mystery and home to the Sentinelese tribe. For what is believed to be thousands of years, they have lived in complete isolation, preserving a way of life untouched by the modern world. To protect them, the Indian government strictly prohibits any visitors from approaching. Even well-intentioned helicopters flying overhead have been met with a volley of arrows, a clear message to stay away. Approaching the island isn't just dangerous, it's illegal. A 5 nautical-mile exclusion zone is enforced to safeguard the tribe from outside diseases. The official policy is one of no contact, with only occasional distant aerial surveys conducted for observation. It's a powerful reminder to respect their autonomy and observe from a distance. Deep within the western Amazon rainforest lies the vast Vale do Javari region. This area contains one of the highest concentrations of uncontacted tribes anywhere in the world. The Brazilian government has established strict protections to prevent unauthorized entry. Dense jungle, winding rivers, and minimal infrastructure already make travel here extremely difficult. But legal restrictions add another powerful layer of protection. Only approved researchers and indigenous protection teams are permitted limited access. Even then, movement within the region is carefully monitored and controlled. Illegal intrusions, particularly by loggers or miners, have created serious tensions in the past. Because of these risks, large sections of the territory remain completely closed to outsiders. Satellite images show vast stretches of untouched forest with no visible development. For the tribes living within Vale do Javari, isolation is not accidental, it is actively preserved, and the surrounding jungle ensures that boundary remains firmly in place. Arnhem Land, Australia. In the Northern Territory of Australia lies Arnhem Land, a vast Aboriginal reserve rich in cultural history. Unlike many remote regions, this area is not entirely closed, but it is tightly controlled. Visitors must obtain special permits before entering most parts of the territory. These restrictions exist to protect sacred sites, traditional lifestyles, and culturally sensitive areas. Many locations within Arnhem Land are considered spiritually significant by local communities. Because of this, photography, travel routes, and access points are often strictly regulated. Unauthorized entry can result in heavy fines or legal consequences. The landscape itself is rugged, with floodplains, escarpments, and remote coastlines limiting easy movement. Local indigenous councils play a major role in determining who may enter certain zones. Tourism is allowed only in carefully managed sections of the region. Beyond those areas, large portions of Arnhem Land remain quiet, protected, and rarely visited. Here, the boundary is maintained not by mystery, but by deep cultural respect. The island of New Guinea contains some of the most challenging terrain on the planet. In the Indonesian province of West Papua, dense rainforests and high mountain ranges dominate the landscape. Certain tribal regions within this area remain extremely difficult for outsiders to access. Government regulations, combined with geography, naturally limit large-scale tourism. Many communities here maintain traditional ways of life far removed from urban centers. Travel permits are often required for foreign visitors entering sensitive regions. Poor infrastructure, limited roads, and thick jungle canopy add further isolation. Even experienced explorers find navigation in this region extremely demanding. Local authorities occasionally restrict journalist and researcher access to specific zones. Because of these combined factors, some tribal territories remain largely undisturbed. From above, the region appears vast and continuous. But on the ground, movement is slow, controlled, and carefully watched. Beyond the well-known North Sentinel Island, the Andaman and Nicobar Archipelago contains several other protected tribal reserves. These zones were established by the Indian government to safeguard vulnerable indigenous communities from outside interference. Strict buffer areas surround many of these reserves, and unauthorized entry is prohibited by law. Patrol boats regularly monitor the surrounding waters to ensure the restrictions are respected. The goal is not only to preserve traditional ways of life, but also to prevent the spread of modern diseases. Many of these tribes have limited immunity to common illnesses found elsewhere in the world. Tourists visiting the Andaman Islands are clearly warned to remain within approved areas. Even photography and roadside stops are regulated near certain tribal corridors. Over the years, enforcement has become increasingly strict to prevent exploitation or accidental contact. From a distance, the islands appear peaceful and inviting, but invisible boundaries run across parts of the archipelago, and crossing them can carry serious legal consequences. Chaco region, Paraguay. The Gran Chaco stretches across parts of Paraguay, Bolivia, and Argentina, forming one of South America's most remote wilderness regions. In the Paraguayan Chaco, sections of dense forest and dry scrubland are home to isolated indigenous groups who have had little to no sustained outside contact. Because of this, protected zones have been established to prevent accidental encounters. The environment itself is harsh, with extreme heat, seasonal flooding, and very limited infrastructure. Road networks are sparse, and many areas can only be reached after days of difficult travel. Government agencies and indigenous rights groups actively monitor certain regions to discourage intrusion. Illegal land clearing and ranch expansion have historically threatened these communities, increasing the need for strict protections. Aerial surveys occasionally reveal small clearings that indicate human presence deep within the wilderness. But on the ground, there are few signs to guide outsiders safely through the region. For most travelers, the Chaco is simply too vast and too unforgiving to navigate casually. And for the tribes who live there, that natural barrier helps preserve their isolation. In this part of South America, distance itself is the first line of protection. Peru's Amazon basin contains vast protected zones designated specifically for uncontacted indigenous peoples. These no-contact reserves cover millions of acres of dense rainforest and winding river systems. The Peruvian government, along with international organizations, enforces strict entry restrictions in these areas. Aircraft are often advised to avoid low flights over certain regions to prevent disturbance. The jungle canopy itself forms a nearly continuous green barrier when viewed from above. On the ground, however, the terrain is extremely complex and difficult to navigate. Protection teams occasionally patrol the outer edges of these territories to monitor illegal activity. Logging, mining, and unauthorized exploration remain ongoing concerns in parts of the Amazon. Because of these pressures, buffer zones around tribal lands have become increasingly important. Satellite imagery sometimes reveals temporary shelters or cleared patches deep within the forest, but direct contact is intentionally avoided whenever possible. Here, preservation depends on distance, patience, and strict enforcement. These lands are not forbidden because they are mysterious. Some paths are invitations to wonder, not to wander. They are protected because they are home, a sanctuary where silence keeps the stories safe. In a world where nearly everything has been mapped and photographed, we pass through as guests, footprints fading in the mist. These places remind us that some boundaries still matter. Sometimes the greatest respect we can show is choosing not to cross the line. Guard the unseen. Respect the line. The Haunted Atlas, where restraint reveals the map. Across the world, there are places protected not by fences, but by people who refuse outside contact. They are the guardians of a world untouched by modern civilization, a world that fiercely defends its own boundaries. These tribal lands are restricted, dangerous, and deeply respected. Governments have designated them as no-go zones, not just for the safety of outsiders, but for the preservation of these unique cultures. Entering them is illegal in many cases, and sometimes visitors never return. Their stories become cautionary tales, whispered among adventurers and explorers. This is not a story, this is a location. Welcome to the Haunted Atlas.